Hi, everyone. It's Professor Lanky. I just wanted to say hello and give us our video that takes us through the weekly module. I hope everyone is having a good week and is enjoying some of this fall weather and the rain that we're having. I hope to go at least 1 week without my children getting sick, but it's kind of that time of the year. So as always, you're going to start at our homepage, right? You'll click on the week 8 module. And this takes you to our objective page, right? So as a reminder, there's a link here to our class textbook. This week we're reading pages 39 to 46 in the course reader. And at this point, we should be up to chapter 27 in A Dream Called Home, and we're reading through chapter 32 this week. Remember, we're gonna be finishing the novel over the next couple of weeks, so we wanna make sure that we catch up. So here's our objectives of the week. Again, we're making our personal intentions each week. This is your chance for you to communicate with me. We're reading the novel, applying those reading strategies we've talked about as a class. This week, we're looking at a poem in both English and Spanish from our book, Cool Salsa. And we're talking about some new vocabulary. We're going to practice with synonyms and how we use different words to create variety in our paragraph writing. And we're going to make something called a one-pager. And so this one pager is a kind of creative summary of A Dream Called Home. Okay, and so here's the activities and assignments for the week. And as always, if you have questions or you want to talk over anything about the class or about your grades or just life in general, please come to my office hours. Remember, I'm on Zoom twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays from 11:45 to 12:45. Sorry, from 10:45 to 11:45. And then I'm here in person on Thursdays in my office, which is room 28111. And that's from 12 to 2 p.m. Okay. So after you kind of look through the weekly objectives, activities, and assignments, right, you'll go to our weekly intention. Again, this is your chance just to set an intention for the week, take a moment for yourself and to communicate with me. I think everyone's been doing a really good job of kind of letting me know how things are going in with your life, right? Things happen, the rhythm of our life takes us back and forth throughout the semester. So please just reach out to me in this space or, in email or inboxes to let me know if you need extra help or extra support. So again, you'll watch the video, submit your intention. Please make sure we're submitting complete sentences. Again, that's with a capital letter, a subject, a verb, complete thought, and a period. Okay, you go through that, you hit next. Okay, and so here's the link to the book Cool Salsa. And then this week we're looking at this poem. So if you do speak Spanish or you can read Spanish well, then I want you to kind of compare the language between English and Spanish. And then what you're doing is in 2 to 3 complete sentences, you're just comparing the weekly poem to the characters and events in A Dream Called Home. So frequently in A Dream Called Home, Reina is either thinking of memories of her experiences in Iguala with her grandmother, or she's actually going to Mexico and having these experiences, right? So how does the language in the poem kind of compare to some of the things that Reina is experiencing in the novel? So I can see that someone's already posted here. Make sure you put your name. That way I know who's posting. So you post out, so you hit the little mark, you add the subject, right? So you could put like Jamie's post, and then you add in your information here. One thing I noticed was the emotion behind Reina's memories of her grandmother and the poet's language about their grandfather. So you can put some examples like that. And there it is. And if you want, you can add a comment to classmates' posts. All right, and then you'll go to the next page. So this is about synonyms. So it's talking about how we build descriptive writing. So there's a quick little video that just gives us some brief background on what synonyms are, right? They're words with common meanings. And then a couple things to avoid. And then again, there's a link to our class textbook, and this can give you some more information on why we use synonyms, which kind of synonyms we should use in our writing. So you'll read that and then you'll come here and you'll practice. Okay, so again, you want to look at the activities on page 42 and 46 on the textbook, and then you're going to click this link. So when this link opens, it's going to make a copy of the document for you. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. All right, it says, do you want to make a copy of Practice with Synonyms? You say yes. right? It's going to open up this document here. Okay. And so you're going to take this paragraph and you're going to change it and you're going to add synonyms, right? It says mean, right? So you want to make sure that you're using that correct, they're the correct synonyms for that. Okay, so you'll just do your best, right? And I'll give you feedback on whether or not they're good replacements for those words or whether or not we need to kind of think of some different words here. Okay, cool. So you'll come in. And so on this next page, this briefly describes what we're doing in our one-pager project, right? So we're taking everything we've learned in A Dream Called Home and everything we've learned about kind of Raina's journey from UCSC to LA to becoming a teacher, to becoming an ESL teacher, and how that all comes together and kind of connects with the different themes in the book. So you'll read through this and then you'll go to our discussion board. So on our discussion board, right, you're going to look at page 40 in the textbook, and then you're going to start planning your one-pager. So it says, following the guidelines on pages 40 through 41 in the textbook, create a one-pager for A Dream Called Home. It should demonstrate understanding of and critical thinking about the book. Your one-pager can include information from any part of the book. So any chapter or any information that calls to you, that's what you want to include in this. So you're going to post a picture, a file, or a link to your one-pager in the discussion and write a short explanation, right? So you're not only are you posting a picture, but you're telling the class about your one-pager, what you did about it, okay? So you want to explain the parts that are either not obvious or that you really want the reader to focus on. So after you post that picture, then you're going to respond to classmates. Again, you know, as a class, we kind of agreed on these Monday due dates. So please try to get postings up before Monday. Let's get our one-pagers up so we can give our classmates time to post their replies, okay? And so all these things are due on Monday. And again, a little bit more points for this assignment than your usual 20 points. This is worth 30 points because it's kind of a bigger project, right? And so the rubric's a little bit different. So make sure you click on these 3 little dots up here and say show rubric, right? And it's going to bring it up, right? It's going to bring up the criteria for this assignment, okay? So you'll add your reply, you'll add your initial post, right? Post a picture. So this can be done on the computer or it can be done by hand. And then you'll reply to a classmate by Monday night. Okay. Here's an additional video to help us craft our responses to our classmates. Remember, as we progress through the semester, we want to get a little bit more detailed with the way we're working and responding to classmates. So here's a little video that Professor Whitsett made to help us do that. And then as always, on the next page, we've got some good sentence starters to help you add those replies to your classmates. And then the last thing we're doing this week, right, is we're looking at A Dream Called Home. Okay, so in A Dream Called Home, right, we're looking at chapters 22 to 32. So again, even though this is the quiz function, this is not a real quiz. This is just a way for us to quickly do some comprehension with the chapters. We've done this a bunch of times before, so we kind of know the drill here. But essentially, you're going to start the quiz. It's going to ask you 5 questions, right? It's going to talk about Francisco. Is he good or bad for Raina, right? Raina buys a house. Where is it? What kind of house is it? How does her relationship with her father improve in chapters, you know, kind of 22 through 32? And then in chapter 28, Raina learns a little bit more. She goes to Mexico with her mother, right? What's that chapter about? What's that experience like? And how does that kind of change her perspective on her mother? Right. And then it says by the end of chapter 32, Raina is still frustrated professionally. So is she still frustrated? Is she making progress? What's she doing with her life? Is she making progress towards becoming the writer that she eventually will be? Right. So you're going to answer these questions in complete sentences, right? We're not going to copy examples from the book. I don't need quotations to support your answers. This is just short answer questions. Okay. So again, there's no time limit. You can add more than one response if you need to. And again, this is due on Monday. Again, this is where you can add your questions for the week. And then this is the class wrap up right here. Okay. So again, if you have questions or you need extra help, then please send me an email, send me a message to my inbox, or come to my office hours, and I would be happy to work with you. So have a great week, everyone, and I will look forward to seeing your awesome one-pagers.